Hi, Misha. Thank you for speaking with me today. Welcome to Good Detours. How are you doing?
Hey Shweta, I'm doing good. Thank you so much.
You have had an amazing professional journey. You started in educational industry and then you ventured to start your own college. You are now the CEO director. How does that feel? How did that happen? Share with me.
So I came to Australia in 2012, and when I came to Australia, I was lucky enough to get a chance to work within education industry. And
Yeah.
I started working at a very lower position of the education industry. The people that I was working with, they gave me a chance to work in almost every department, and they made me explore a lot of positions and a lot of workings that I learned quite a bit within that 4 years period of time, that I finally got the opportunity to open a new venture and as a new college, and joined as a CEO and the director of the company. So yeah, it was, I'm pretty happy of achieving what I've achieved in that little, period of time.
That's good. What is the hardest part of this job? It's a big responsibility. How do you navigate the biggest challenge?
All the bigger responsibilities comes with, pretty much, cost in life and a lot of stress as well. A lot of thinking goes into it, a lot of planning strategies and stuff. But like I said, because I had experience of working in a college before starting this, my own college along with a few of my partners,
Yeah.
so it was pretty easy for me to adapt and do the workings properly, and learned from the mistakes what probably I had been doing when I was working. I think it's going pretty smooth now. It's been 4 years that I'm running this college now, so things are pretty smooth. I've kind of now balanced my family and office life as well.
Good. Actually, I was going to ask you this question later, but now that we're talking about it, you are a businesswoman and a mother, two of the most trickiest roles in the world. So now that you're saying you know how to manage the daily hustle, but is it really that easy, or do you have to put in a lot of effort to make it work?
Um, it's of course not that easy, especially when you have got a 5 years old, and
Yeah.
especially when the 5 years old is not enough. But yeah, I would say I'm kind of lucky that my actually family is very, very supporting in that ways. My husband is very supporting in that ways as well. So even if sometimes, even if I'm too much occupied in the work, he definitely takes care of the home part. But yes, sometimes I do have to put a lot of efforts to make sure that I'm trying to balance my family and a work life.
Yeah.
And I don't want to ignore my child as well, because I think he's at a stage where he needs his parents and time, which is very important for him.
Yeah.
So weekends are definitely completely for him. And I also make sure that when I'm coming back home, I'm kind of completely off work, and I'm giving all the quality time to him. I can say that, yeah, I'm not able to give him too much of my time,
Mhm.
but whatever time I give it to him, I think, I try to put the best of the quality in that time. And I think that's what matters. I mean, kids,
Yeah.
if you're not giving quality time, I mean, whatever time that you're giving, it doesn't matter that much. So quality is the key.
That's a beautiful point. As a working mother, that is the give and take you have to take care of every day. And I think you're doing it amazingly. You mentioned that being in the education industry was not a plan, but you were in the education industry back home in India too, and now you're running a successful college in Melbourne. If that was not a plan, do you think it's kind of a calling? And now that you love your job, does it all fall in place?
Yes, I did work in education industry back in India. But when I came to Australia, it was never a plan that I'm going to join the same education industry. But like I said, I was lucky enough to got involved in the education industry in Melbourne and in Australia, and wherein education is like the one of the biggest industry here. And when I joined it after coming here, after immediately after a couple of months, I realized that this is it, and this is where I probably always wanted to be, and I would want to be in future as well. So I'm pretty much enjoying it. It's a very growing industry. I mean, this is one of the industries that can never stop, and it's a very repetitive industry as well. We do get a lot of respect from the students as well, and I'm happy to contribute towards the quality of education where Australia is proud about. So yeah, so I'm pretty happy about the industry that I'm involved into.
No, it's amazing. I mean, education does shape an individual, and then
Yeah.
You're playing your part in shaping the future generations, and
That's true.
it's not an easy task. So kudos to
Yeah.
you for that too. Who motivates you to excel? Who motivates you to, just keep doing better and better? I mean, it's not an easy thing to just navigate all the departments in an institution and then go out and start one of your own.
Mm, I think number one, it's important to be when you want to grow in life, or as a woman as well, it's important to be a self motivator. Number one, because
Mhm.
I think there'll never be a chance that somebody will be standing at your back to keep you motivating all the time.
Yeah.
But having said that, I'm kind of very lucky that I've got a wonderful family and a group of friends who keep me motivated all the time. Whenever I'm in trouble, or I've got a hard day or stressful time, or some moments which is quite overwhelming, I always have family and friends to discuss about, and to actually rely upon.
No, that's good. That's good to know that you have your support tribe, and these are the same people you rely on too when things get overwhelming. So
That's
that's
true.
good. Misha, you started your life in a small town in India, and now you're running a successful business in Melbourne, one of the most cosmopolitan cities in the world. What has been your biggest strength through it all, and what are you most proud of?
I think I never got a chance of sitting back and looking back and say, oh, I am actually proud of this thing,
So
but
it's something that you thought you would never do or never be able to do, and you've accomplished that, and now that's a new normal for you. You don't even think of it as an achievement, but it has happened already.
yeah, you're right. I came from a small town back in India, and then we moved to Delhi as well. I was there for a couple of years, and then moved to Melbourne. Um, so all I can say, I'm just proud of having achieved what I've achieved in that a little span of time. So that's what I'm proud about. That where I was, where I am, and that too in that short span of time of what I've achieved. So I'm pretty happy about it. I'm pretty content. Of course, I've got more goals to go in the future,
Yeah.
but whatever I've achieved till now, I'm pretty happy about it. I don't have any complaints.
Good. So, educational institutions were declared essential services by the Australian government, and those have stayed open all through this pandemic. Your business was one of that. So, how has COVID impacted your day-to-day work, and what strategies have you implemented to navigate that challenge?
So yeah, last year, was kind of one of the toughest year for all of us. And when this thing happened, it didn't really happen with any notice. We all were not really prepared for it. Not even the government, not even the staff, not even us. That's, how it happened. But yeah, government in Australia was pretty supportive in many ways. But yeah, they made, education industry as an essential part of it, and they kept it open. So we did face a lot of issues in terms of convincing our staff to keep coming to the college, because we had to continue with the education of the students, and we could not stop it. And there are a lot of students who come to Australia, and they have a limited time with the visa to finish their education. So we could not jeopardize with that thing as well. So in order to save our staff and the students, and overall the financial burden as well that we had, we came up with a strategy of moving everything to online.
Yeah.
Initially, we always were a face-to-face college. We never had any online sessions or online classes. We kind of worked really hard during that time, because moving all the resources and all the stuff online was not easy. But I think as a team, we all did pretty well, and everybody worked really hard to do that.
That's good. No, I think Australia has been lucky in this pandemic, and they have done all the right things, I believe. They have stayed safe. So you guys are doing amazing in terms of keeping the lights on, keeping the business going,
Yeah.
and keeping everybody safe at the same time. What does being an entrepreneur mean to you personally? And what is next on your agenda?
Um, Entrepreneur, to be an entrepreneur, to be honest, is it gives me a very sense of confidence, and it gives me a lot of proud feeling as well, and that kind of keeps me going, towards my next goal, and towards the life goals as well. In my next agenda, there are a lot of things. I'm planning to diversify the business. I'm planning to diversify towards other things as well instead of just being in the education industry. Yes, we have got plans to open more branches of Sacred Heart International College in the other part of Australia. We have got plans to maybe add more courses as well, and go towards diversify the courses that probably right now we have. But we also have plans to go probably towards the hospitality industry.
Yeah.
Um, might as well open, some kind of restaurant, which let's see, it's just a little kind of a thing in my mind. I'm not sure how far will I be able to go, but I'm pretty much determined to go into it.
Well, you have the first thing right. You have the plan. So I think hopefully everything will fall in place.
Yeah,
And
fingers crossed.
I just read something a couple of years ago, and it just came back to me when we were talking about this, that Melbourne actually has the highest number of cafes and restaurants for a certain number of people in the world. And then when you mentioned that you want to start, a restaurant or a cafe, I was like, that's a fierce move. But then you are a fierce lady, so it aligns perfectly. I'm absolutely sure everybody in your family and all your friends must be incredibly proud of you. How does your little boy feel about it? And how does he expresses that how proud I am of my mama?
Yeah, first of all, he's too small, but then
Yeah.
now that he's going break and he's going to be starting his school, like a first year of school from next week onwards. So he met his principal the other day in the school, and and then he was asking me, Mama, what do you do? Because for him, like a office working, it's not really working for him. Like he meant to ask me what kind of profession you are into. So when I was trying to explain him, I kind of explained that I'm similar to a principal, like you have got a principal. I'm similar to a principal in one of the college. And he was pretty, surprised and happy about it, because he met his principal recently, and he kind of, relate me with that principal. So he was pretty proud about it. And he was like, okay, I'm sure once I grow big, I would want to be somewhere like you. So I'm pretty happy that, he kind of understands and he appreciates what I do for him. And
These are the kind of moments that make everything worthwhile. All the sweat and blood you're putting into the business, all the multitasking. So that is pretty amazing.
I think all the women out there are kind of born with the inborn quality, which is like a multitasking. I think we all
Yeah,
are expert in it,
yeah,
isn't it?
spot on. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Misha, I think your career progression, your overall journey is remarkable. And congratulations on what all you have done so far, and good luck for all the amazing things you're going to do in future. Thank you again,
Thank
Chris.
you so much, Shweta. It was lovely talking to you.